what the hell's going on. But you're exercising your freedom of speech to certainly risk offending me, and that's fine. I think more power to you as far as I'm concerned.
So you haven't sat there and I'm just trying to work that out. I mean,
ha, gotcha.
You have got me. I'm trying to work that through in my head.
Yo, don't be weak, stand strong and pull over these beats. First Amendment, dog, don't you trample on my free speech. Battle rattle with the flag that says don't tread on me. Yes, this is it, the country's sick, I got the remedy. Coming where you feel safe, hiding behind a tweet or something. I say it straight to your face like Peterson. We see these global elites, yeah, they be teaming up to squash all free speech on social media. They say I'm the worst, I'm killing with my words. If that's the way you feel, I guess I'll beckon you a hearse. Country rebel, dog, I'm never checking in my spurs. And I'm saying what I want, cause the second protects the first. You think I'm whack, so you staring like a freak show. Cause I rock a shirt and a hat that says impeach Joe. No, I don't give a shit, yes it's evident. For now I'll finish this, but fuck the left and they president.
Every dollar I lose is a dollar to freedom win. Risking it all for the truth like I'm Dr. Peterson.
Any critics of you get absolutely lambasted by your followers.
They ready to ride for how we write the songs. This ain't politics, this is right and wrong. A period for war, not a time to vent. Coin shortage show the US got a low supply of sense. Gotta write and vent. The Trump, the MAGA is illogical. When the left untaken America back to average is impossible. The mathematics never work like using tax declared integers. The reason the income of Democratic senators go on to treat us as backwoods. We everything from hoods to financial managers to tech exec pensioners. Of course they want silence to disguise violence. Let's not talk about them being the party of predators. When history professors shapeshift to partisan editors. Science ain't the only fiction exhibited by lecturers. Brainwashing Zuck LeBron, all born in 84. The future's in the past, but we can't talk about the days before. This attack on a free speech is certainly the beginning of an end. Fuck being woke, I'd rather sleep eternally. Every dollar I lose is a dollar to freedom win. Risking it all for the truth like I'm Dr. Peterson.
Any critics of you get absolutely lambasted by your followers.
They ready to ride for how we write the songs. This ain't politics, this is right and wrong.
Yo, now you will swear by my socials that I'm all about the politics, but honestly I'm really not, and y'all just don't acknowledge it. I'm trying to bring the truth to y'all regardless if you're fond of it. Keep it 120, now you treat me like a pile of shit. That's all G to the double OD. I gave it up to God cause he the only one who know me. That's right. I used to be the type to run up on you, holler and show me. Now I'm trying to get it right and he alone can do it for me. Amen. I used to see right, so anytime I see right, my spirit would be authentic cause I lived the street life. I was all up in the block, brawling in them street fights. In any city I was in, up underneath them street lights. Let's go. But I'm on that grown now, all up in that zone now. Yeah, I'm going up, ain't no way for me to grow down. God told me go, ain't no way I'm about to slow down. Plus he said it's written, say you didn't, yeah you know now.
Every dollar I lose is a dollar to freedom win. Risking it all for the truth like I'm Dr. Peterson.
Any critics of you get absolutely lambasted by your followers.
They ready to ride for how we write the songs. This ain't politics, this is right and wrong. They ready to ride for how we write the songs. This ain't politics, this is right and wrong.
And we're back with Minivan Musician, where we play your... No, I'm just fucking around. But yeah, decided to run that at the beginning of the show because it kind of leads into what we're talking about on the show, whether purposeful or inadvertently, doesn't matter. What do you like about the song?
Everything.
Do you really?
Which is saying a lot for me because I'm very picky and I don't...
Petty is the word.
No, that's him, is the petty one, but...
A little bit, yeah.
I mean, I don't, like... I mean, nobody's ever heard me, like, you know, praise the fuck out of a song just because it's his song. I just don't do that. I don't see the point in that. Honestly, that doesn't allow someone to grow musically anyway, if you do that all the time. So yeah, it's great. It's really great. I loved Burn, Loot, and Murder so much, and this song is, you know, following in, like, line with that and, like, you know, the subject matter. And this one is just, it's great. The three of them together blend so well, and they, you know, the lyrics are really, really, really good, and the sound is clear. It's just really good. I'm impressed.
Yeah, like and the mix is even a kind of a pre-master type of thing. And like I said in a Facebook post, not the Facebook matters, and not all of our viewers come from there, but you know, if people like it, we're gonna actually put it out as a real single and do a video with footage from each of us. It'll be like Michigan, North Carolina, and West Virginia footage. I'm my own worst critic. When I hear something that's got 100 great things about it, I find the one thing that isn't great. And I love this one. I think it got our points across well. Like you were talking about Burn, Loot, Murder, it was like, sometimes when you do a song that's powerful like that about a subject such as this,
it's hard to follow.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, we're covering a lot in this song.
Yeah.
We did that a little bit on Burn, Loot, Murder, but on this
goes
one,
deeper, so
yeah, and it talks about what we're going to talk about tonight. How like all of these things that the project this goes on is going to be the Townsend acts. The way this is coming together, I'm real happy that I didn't rush it. You know, normally I set a date and I'm like, boom, it's a challenge to get it done by then. I'm letting it happen organically because, yes, the subject matter of every song is along the same lines. But if you let it happen organically, there's different angles to it, different levels to it.
better quality.
Yeah, different vibe.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So like this one, we are talking about all of those different topics that are important to us politically and socially, but with the focus on free speech. Who better to, you know, represent and put in the song and name it after for free speech would be Jordan Peterson. When I threw that out there, the guys loved that idea. I had no hook in mind or anything like that. It was just, the hook came to me when I was playing with the kids out at Dowdy Park, so shout out to Dowdy Park. That was that one with the whale bones that you walk through and all the cool fancy shit.
Going that one yet.
Yeah, it's fun. But anyways, yeah, this one, obviously, we're really behind it on a personal level. It aligns with everything we're talking about. John's gone, as we talked about before, he's a little more Christian with his content, and you can tell that in his verse.
Yeah.
You know, Billy kind of stuck with, you know, the free speech aspect of it. And I kind of just crunched it all together. Like, basically, here's my fucking complaints. So I hope you guys like it. You know, hit like, subscribe, leave a comment. Even if you dislike it, let us know what you dislike about it.
I love hearing that shit. So
Yeah,
please,
definitely.
Please comment if you don't like it. I would rather see you comment if you don't like it.
Yeah, for real.
I want to know
I
why.
mean,
I want to hear why. What your legitimate reasons are.
what I wanted to talk about that kind of came up when we were having a conversation is I was asking, what the hell do you call all the things that feel like they're all put together against us, attacking freedoms, meaning the whole COVID thing, the mask thing, the vaccine thing,
You said all the words.
yeah, I know.
You said all.
The censorship thing, social media, like all that stuff that's tied together. And you know, before people say like, oh, that's not all coming from the government, it's not a conspiracy.
Okay, where is it coming from then?
I was gonna say there are no regular people behind any of this.
Right, yeah.
I don't really have a title for it. So I would love to hear it from people. Like, what would you call it? The onslaught, like, of all these things that happen at once, where it's like,
of the end.
yeah, and
The
so
rapture.
yeah.
Something.
The other thing that came together that led me to the topic tonight was in Billy's verse. He says something about like brainwashing or censoring us through social media. And every time I hear the term social media now, I literally hurt in my chest, like almost like a heartbreak type of feeling.
It's like almost like a panic attack coming on.
Yeah, like, and it's a sadness because social media was like supposed to be for the people, by the people. It's our content. It's our communication with each other.
We're supposed to be the governing body of our own pages. And
Right.
of the site itself, basically. You know?
Yeah. And, you know, now when you hear social media, you get tense, you think of arguing. We talked about it before. It's like Facebook nowadays is nothing but like, I call it Vaxbook.
Yeah.
Like, there's literally nothing else like pushed through there.
No.
And those arguments over that shit break out like just over somebody having pictures of their kid on their tits. It comes up.
You know,
So
it's ridiculous.
So social media, on top of being sanitized, we've talked about that before. It's gotten to where I said earlier that even if the right social media platform came about, like free expression, it's wonderful, it's positive, nobody's going to care. because as soon as you refer to it as social media,
people cringe.
Yeah, you cringe. It's a horrible thing. Now it's ruined forever. So that brought me to, what has the left ruined? And my answer is literally everything.
Yeah, I mean, everything is tainted. Even like the simplest of things, like taking your kids to the park, can be like tainted because you see people outside with masks on, or there's masks on the freaking ground, or like, you know, you walk somewhere and someone has a mask on and you don't, so they look at you like you're fucked up, and then you gotta explain it to your kids. It's like, what the fuck? I just want to take my kids to the park.
Or it's the distancing thing, or
yeah.
you know, it's all this silly shit.
Bathroom's closed, can't use the bathroom, gotta pee outside.
Right.
Like, what the fuck? That's
still
better.
And I mean, that all goes to the Rona thing,
Mm-hmm,
but I mean,
just one fraction of it.
I mean, that and whatever else is behind it has ruined education completely.
Yeah.
Look up the rankings of the education system, but just every major category. Look it up. We are nowhere near the top in any of it.
No.
You guys think that America's intelligent? No. As far as what we actually learn academically, no, not at all. That's what's funny about how we're following like these real far left woke academics.
Yeah. Okay.
They're actually the example of why our education system sucks.
Like, okay, you got your grade 12, Ricky. Well, congratulations.
Education has been ruined because now kids are essentially a year and a half behind or so.
Yeah.
They've developed bad habits. They've lost their socialization, which is another thing that's on my little list here. People don't know how to socialize anymore.
Not at all.
Even when we met the lady about the house today,
it was awkward.
For the last minute and a half, we both couldn't tell if the other person was okay with a handshake.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the hugs between family members.
Yeah.
And, you know, we've beaten this dead horse enough, but the amount that we've changed our lives in this way over something that doesn't warrant that is downright scary. And how we're okay with it. How it's just like, well, that's the way it is now. And people just kind of bury down that awkward moment or the fact that they don't get along with a family member. But along with socialization, mental health. During the pandemic, suicides in teenagers are up 150%.
Yeah.
Mental health is terrible. I consider myself to be very strong-willed. I will live my own existence outside of, you know, whatever. Say what you want about it, but outside of the rules. I'm very, very low in agreeableness. I'll just put that out there since the song is Jordan Peterson. Yet and still, and I get to express myself through a podcast and through music, and I work for, you know, small businesses, so it's like I have a little more freedom. Yet and still, I have been very badly affected. My mental state has been shaken, and
It's gotten significantly worse.
the world's a darker place.
I was already a dark person, so it's like, you know, definitely makes it more difficult.
The world's a darker place for reasons that aren't talked about much. Like we've brought up, you know, obviously that during the lockdowns and stuff like that, you know, we were on vacation here in the OBX, and it was like we had the whole shit to ourselves. You know, like nobody was there, and things were closed early, if open at all. But then when the floodgates opened, meaning when, you know, everything opened up, because it kind of didn't, and half the businesses didn't survive, but that's a whole other part of this. But so everybody rushed in.
Yeah.
And aside from everybody who rushed in, a lot of people moved there, which is great. It's practically a paradise.
Yeah.
But these people have made lifelong changes, you know, a lot of times away from family and stuff like that. Things are habitual with humans, so as far as the way companies conduct business and the attitudes of people and the crowds and the times of year people show up and how the economy, all of that stuff, you could say like, yeah, we can get back to normal, but not really.
No.
Not when something is literally imposed on the entire population for an extended amount of time and nobody's allowed to say that they don't like it.
Yeah.
So everybody convinces themselves they're okay with it and never looks back on, hey, wait a minute, this was good, bring it back. But moving on from that, we've lost our thick skin from the left. You know, a lot of this has been about Rona and whatnot. The thick skin meaning you can't tell a joke anymore.
Nothing.
Comedians are on eggshells.
Anything. The other day, I literally watched a friend of mine post something saying, like, you know, I'm sweating because he was so hot, okay? Because in Michigan it was, like, really hot at the time. He was like, I'm sweating like Mike Tyson trying to say the word Elizabeth. Now that's hilarious. And Mike Tyson would have laughed his ass off at that.
Oh, yeah, you crazy.
And somebody commented on it, was like, oh, so it's cool to make fun of people with speech impediments now? I didn't get the memo. I about fell the fuck over.
Dude, that person has probably made fun of Mike Tyson like, specifically.
Dude, he probably doesn't even know who Mike Tyson is. That's how fucking.
And called him an atheist.
You know, I was like, alright, dude. I'm like, you know, take your woke ass somewhere to a fucking library or a hobby shop or something and get a fucking life. Like, are you serious?
Our thick skin is gone. That used to be something that was big in the United States because of the free speech thing and everything. Yeah. You know, and like you think of like the working class, the blue collar guy that keeps the U.S. together and everything. And think about it, you know, we bust each other's balls, dude. We talk shit to each other. We make fun of each other. And nowadays, it's not so much that somebody's offended by what their friend says, but they're like, wait, am I supposed to be offended by what my friend just said? Right. You know, it's so silly. It's been ingrained. That joke? Like, yeah, it's like it's okay to like any joke. And I've watched so many great comedians on YouTube specifically just lament, like they hate their jobs now.
Yeah.
And like
they're scared. They don't want to get canceled.
Yeah, and the other day, Theo Von had, God, I can't remember the guy's name now. His name's something Gillis. He kind of got canceled at one point for old jokes. You know, and he said the minute that, actually he got it from Louis C.K., I believe. He said the minute that a comedian has to think immediately after they write a joke or immediately before they write a joke, the comedy's gone from it.
Yeah, for sure.
It really is. It's kind of like if you're a music artist and you're constantly thinking, will this be a hit?
Right.
Will this cross over?
The joy's gone.
So you go into it like with a formula, and then when it's finished, you're thinking about marketing, and you know you're not actually thinking. You know,
it's not life in the song.
No, we've lost our pride in our country, obviously.
Yeah.
The left, and when I say the left, I mean the far left, which is totally infected the rest of the left, but wokeness specifically, the woke folk. You know, like I said in the fucking song just now, fuck being woke, I'd rather sleep eternally. You know, the pride in our country's gone. It's actually, we've talked about this, it's considered like rednecky or fucking backwoods that pride in the country to fly a flag. Or
I mean, and the sad thing is we're in a situation where it's like, okay, yes, I have pride in my country for what it is supposed to be and what it is supposed to represent and still does to me, but it's very hard to actually keep said pride intact when our country is doing what it's doing and people are allowing it and letting it happen, and they voted this shit into the office to happen, and it's like, yeah, I'm supposed to be prideful of that. It's like, no, I'm prideful of what it's supposed to be and what I have faith it can be again. If all these people will stop, you know, listening to all this fucking bullshit.
What's interesting about that is supposedly, you know, they hate the country, which would mean they have a vision for what it should be.
Yeah, okay, what should it be? Because y'all voted for this and you're going along with this, which is what's ruining the country.
And meanwhile, we despise what they're doing, but yet we still say we have pride in our country based on what it could be, what it should be, what it was.
Yeah.
You know, we precede everything with that pride. But nowadays, there's no pride in country, and it's pretty obvious why.
What the fuck happened to loyalty, man? I don't get it.
I mean, we've lost the perception of strength. Obviously, and rest in peace to the fallen from the last, it hasn't even been a week, I don't think.
No.
With Afghanistan.
Terrible.
It's bad enough that lives of ours were lost that didn't have to be. It was a complete and utter failure, and the entire left is even saying that.
For no reason.
For no reason at all. Just ineptitude. Feels like it's done on purpose because nobody could do something this poorly. The perception of strength is gone. China doesn't have any fear of us.
No.
Not that we're at any type of actual war with China, but that's just an example.
That's scary.
Forget China. Much smaller countries have no fear of us.
No.
You know, the Bin Laden himself
They're laughing.
talked about how they couldn't wait until Biden got into office, that they could just run rampant on us and do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
There's no one that respects us, respects our authority anymore.
Nobody wants to be aligned with us anymore. We're a joke.
People can say what they want to say about like Nagasaki and stuff like that, but my old boss, total centrist, especially like actually more to the left when it comes to foreign relations, he talked about how that bombing was a little act right.
Right.
For decades after that, countries knew don't fuck with them.
Yeah.
They're peaceful, they're trying to grow commerce across the world, they're worried about their own freedoms, they're happy, you know, they're the cultural leaders of the world.
They will
Don't
you
fuck with
up.
them. You know, a bunch of mishaps later, we looked very weak with Obama. With Trump, you know, hey, maybe we looked offensive. Maybe there was, you know, a bit of hatred coming at us from some of those other countries, but
Fucking with us.
not gonna fuck with us. Hate us all you want. We weren't actually doing enough to make you create a coalition between yourselves and attack us. So, you know, sometimes even just the perception of strength is all you need. We used to be the leading country, not just financially. We're the leading country culturally, socially.
Yeah, and most forward, that's for sure.
Now we copy off of Scandinavia, and we want to adopt some of the loony things that Australia is doing. And for a while there, we were piggybacking Canada, and, you know, and the socialist crap. It's getting ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's funny. We used to lead the way in everything.
Yeah.
And now it's like, hey, we need something more woke. What are other countries doing? That's actually what's happening now. And you're seeing a lot of other countries, a lot of other cultures kind of taking the reins of entertainment and many other industries relating to culture. Beyond that, the woke coalition, the woke-alition, has destroyed television and movies. Like, you absolutely have to have this percentage of this kind of people. You know, rather than the best person for the role or anything like that, you have to have this percentage of people of, say, this color or this belief system. Yeah, the sexuality.
In a cartoon, it's fine.
It's always far beyond the actual representation of the population.
Yeah, it's always some over-the-top bullshit, too.
Yeah, it's like you've got, you know, 4 main characters in a show, and it's like 2 of them have to be gay. Like, hold on a second, dude. Like 50% of the population.
We're not saying you're not allowed to have a gay person.
No, not at all.
Someone
Just make it realistic.
It
Wow, my hand is bleeding. I had a bug bite there, and I scratched the... or no, that was from work, and I had a scab there, and I scratched it up. Obviously, with what we talked about with the censorship and the worry about offending people and stuff like that, but now it's like, oh my god, I have to cast it this way, and oh wait, I need a social message. Oh wait, my show or my movie cannot reflect a positive view on cops.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, literally, this kind of thing has happened. Remember, there were shows that were canceled because the cops won at the end.
They were good guys.
Actually, I think the show Cops was canceled.
It was canceled, and then there was another one that was very similar to Cops that they canceled that too.
It's funny because it's just silly, because we always talk about how the people who should be offended aren't. Meaning, like, you know, a lot of these leftists, these woke people are standing up for people, and the people that's standing up for are like, wait a minute,
sit the fuck down.
Sit down. That's not our viewpoint.
Yeah.
So this is a perfect example that's a little more lighthearted. If you go to a county jail, all anybody wants to watch is Cops.
Yeah.
And a little Dog the Bounty Hunter.
And, like, prison fucking life or whatever.
Yeah, they want to watch
the
Cops.
Shows,
where, you know, the criminals look stupid, they're clown, the cops come out victorious in the end, but where kicking that show off of TV because it makes criminals look bad.
Yeah,
and the criminals are like, dude, like,
that was my shit.
That shit's funny.
What am I gonna watch on Friday nights now?
I mean, seriously, man.
Yeah,
like,
I've always wanted to watch Cops. I hated that shit, but they wanted to watch it.
Right. The woke coalition and the left have ruined music.
They've done a lot of damage to that.
I mean, I didn't even give a shit, but like, the Dixie Chicks,
I can't.
calling themselves the Chicks.
Lady Antebellum.
Aren't they just like
Lady A, which is a stolen name anyway, we found out from Maxwell and Cruise Control.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah. I forgot about that. And then you start looking at things like, everything's political now, everything's divisive. Offspring just fired their drummer because he wouldn't get a vaccine. Yeah. Artists are canceling shows, screwing people over.
Type of band too, and it's like, oh, okay.
Due to a perceived threat, entire tours are still getting shut down.
Yeah, people are having to sell their tickets to shows and stuff because you're not allowed to attend these venues unless you're vaccinated. Some of the bands are actually demanding it, like Maroon 5. Which is so fucking retarded.
Go ahead, nobody gives a shit about y'all anyway.
But like, yeah.
Almost as bad as Train.
Like,
not as bad as Imagine Dragons. These to me are the worst bands that ever existed.
Whatever. So, yeah, I mean, they're demanding, you have proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test in the past 2 weeks before the fucking show or whatever.
Oh, and what set this shit off? Washington State University is requiring that all students, and remember, they all pay thousands of dollars to get into this bullshit school, but they have to get vax, even if they are 100% virtual.
Yeah.
If their classes are completely online.
So they're sitting at home on their computer taking classes that they paid all this money for, and they have to get a vaccine to do that in their home. And
see, I can no longer...
They can't attend. They can't do their...
I can no longer approach this stuff in an intellectual or civilized manner.
Because that's fucking ridiculous.
Are you fucking retarded? Like seriously.
Well, the thing
you gotta get the vax, even though you're not gonna come in contact with anybody, but it's just because we want you to.
Okay, when all the lockdowns were going on, everybody was forced to be virtual for classes no matter what grade of school you were in, so it's like, okay, everybody was at home because they were protected there, right? So it didn't matter.
I thought you were protected.
Well, what the fuck? You have to have a vaccine to sit in your house. I literally almost broke down crying when I heard that. I don't give a fuck about Washington State. But
because of how stupid people are.
It makes me so fucking sad.
It upsets me that people are that stupid. Because we've talked about it before. They'll have influence on our kids.
Yeah.
The left has ruined history.
So they've taken a lot of it away or written it to their liking, which is worse.
They've ruined the whole perception of reality. Doctors can't share studies. They can't share medical facts.
They will lose their job.
History professors can't talk about true history, true documented history. They can't oppose imaginary history. So, I mean, if you go down the list, social media, education, socialization, mental health, the economy, the thick-skinnedness of the country, pride in country, perception of strength, being a leading country, television, movies, music,
literally everything
history,
good.
Everything good. You've ruined everything. Now what? That was a moment of silence. Now what? I mean, really, I want some of you to come across these videos and tell me, because I want to know your master plan. I really want to know it. Because if you're going to ruin absolutely everything that we all enjoyed about life,
you better have some rebuild plan.
I'd like to know why. Even if I don't totally agree with the reason personally, as long as it's somewhat logical, let me hear it.
Yeah.
That's
the thing is nobody has one though. They don't have
one. Yeah, it's just that prompted me, and the song prompted me, and just everything going on to where I'm just like, listen, it is a combination of things between, basically it's government control, but it's tied in with the media, it's tied in with a lot of other elements, and I just want to know what we're calling it. Those of us who oppose all of this stuff, all this draconian stuff, Atsine stuff. All of us get grouped in anyway.
Yeah.
We're called Trumpers, but as y'all can see, there's people like Russell Brand taking our side, there's far left people taking our side, there's centrists taking our side, there's non-Americans. There are a lot of people, there are Republicans who hated Donald Trump taking our side. So you can't call us Trumpers, plus he ain't the president anymore, unfortunately. What is it? You know, you want to group us together? Okay, we'd be grouped together behind what we oppose. And what we oppose is mandatory medical treatment for minuscule risk, for any reason, actually. I guess we're constitutionalists. But then again, what do we call that big group of things that goes against the Constitution? I mean, for me, it's called treason, but...
Yeah, it's blasphemy.
It is blasphemy against what was our ideology here.
Travesty.
So if y'all got ideas on the name of whatever you want to call the woke, the spider web that covers all these different things, because I believe that we're all kind of united behind the fact that nobody should have this shit forced on them. Things shouldn't be locked down. The economy, the statistics, numbers, basic math show that it was all a bad idea. It helped no one. That the mask thing is ridiculous. Censorship is bad, okay? Losing a country's sense of humor is terrible. What is it? That's all I want to know. To me, it's the fucking Townsend Acts, but we'll talk about that at a later date. The Great Catastrophe. You know, a catastrophe feels like something that was ordained by God or was an accident.
Yeah.
like, oh, it's a catastrophe.
It's
like
catastrophic.
Maybe a clusterfuck. We'll call it the clusterfuck because somebody usually causes a clusterfuck of like an accident or car accident. It's still kind of an accident. So I don't know. If you guys have ideas, it's just... I just wanted to go down a list and kind of prove that the left, that the woke... side of this country has absolutely ruined everything that we care about.
Wokenese.
The wokenese. Is that offensive somehow? Is that... I don't know. I don't fucking care either. I don't know, you guys. Chime in. I didn't cover Afghanistan too much because...
It makes me very sad to discuss.
It's something that needs to be covered with a certain amount of tact.
Yeah.
And a certain amount of, you know, it needs to be planned out. I'm just not going to come on here and rant and rave about how dudes screwed up. I would rather show people in layman's terms exactly what happened, because I feel like, once again, people are on one side or the other. They're making excuses over here. They're just blurting out how angry and offended they are over there. But what's funny is, like, Fox News, because it's on when I'm in the gym in the middle of the night, has been covering it like very accurately. And of course it goes against the left like naturally, because that's whose mistake it was, so they're going to cover it properly. But I mean, they have you know, representatives of government, they have Navy SEALs, they have all these people who really know what they're talking about, you know, retired generals, this sort of thing, who are given real information. They're not just saying like, oh my god, this president sucks and blah, blah. No, they're saying like, here's why it was wrong. Here's what we were doing before. If you guys can name one thing that's better than when 45 was in office, I will also, I don't know, I'll send you a fucking cookie or something. We got the matching shirts on tonight, representing hip-hop because of the song release.
I didn't want him to have matching shirts. I had mine on first, and he just decided that he would put his on.
It is what it is. But yeah, I guess we'll get up out of here. Next week, we have, we'll just say, Detroit Unseen. Maybe some of y'all have seen a documentary out there that's about the original urban explorers, but actually the main cat basically invented that whole activity and kind of showed the country and just everyone, the whole world, what Detroit was like beyond that photo of the skyline they used to always see. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that's going to be really, really interesting.
There's
you know,
more than just the Packard plant to explore.
Right. He's done a million podcasts and interviews and stuff like that, and so it'll be a really good one. We'll do our best with it, and so that'll be next week. But yeah, the left ruined life as we know it. Period. I mean, even things like God, even fishing, I'm reminded of the stupid shit that was being passed by these people when I go fishing. Because I remember when I would go, like, you know, when I was, our job was closed, and all you could do is go outdoors, which is great, but they were putting all these weird things on that too.
Yeah.
You know, you couldn't go on a boat, and, you know, no restroom, and you had to be this many people capacity, and hours were shorter, which I guess nature, like, you know, nighttime you can't. Anyways, stuff ain't transmissible during the. I don't know, but no. What I'm getting to is that when you would go to buy bait in Michigan,
oh yeah,
there were no minnows.
Ever.
They weren't essential. Worms, essential. Minnows, no.
Yeah.
I believe at one point waxworms, you know, little maggoty looking things.
Yeah.
I think that those are on and off again essential. But how the fuck are minnows not essential?
It's insane.
So then there's a minnow shortage.
And now there's a money shortage.
And guys lost their fucking jobs. Like,
Yeah.
you know, the guys that, you know, basically...
The minnow catchers.
The minnow catchers, and they breed them, I guess. And,
yeah.
you know, I honestly don't know half the time where my minnows come from when I use them. I don't use them that often. But, yeah, just stuff like that, where it's just like, I can't fish without thinking about it. You know, I can't look at my other vehicle without thinking about it because it doesn't have a plate on it.
Yeah, that's literally...
You know, she couldn't look at her license without thinking about it because she couldn't get into fucking Secretary of State. It's just on and on and fucking on. So it's attached to every facet of life, and I wouldn't be complaining if it was something that would go away, but it's not going to.
Oh, it's never going away.
Are you ready for your new variant, people?
Yeah, every year.
Or the new shot to fight it, at least? Or a new shot to fight the last one because it didn't
Keep giving
work.
you all shots until you fucking die. And
That's what's, you know, I think we just got the video banned. But on that note, I say peace.